Hi guys, what's going on? Adam McCullough here. We are live. Breaking news coming through as Manchester United have confirmed that Sanchez has joined Inter Milan on a season-long loan deal. They have tweeted wishing the player good luck, and that news that we broke yesterday after the reports coming through from Inter Milan and of course, from Italy regarding the future of Alexis Sanchez, and saying a loan deal was done to go to Inter Milan and team up with his mate Romelu Lukaku. And now the club have confirmed it, tweeting this evening that we can confirm that Alexis Sanchez joins Inter Milan on loan until the 30th of June 2020. We wish Alexis Sanchez the best of luck in Italy. Can you believe it? The player that we signed from Arsenal for big bucks. Now obviously he came in on a free in a swap with Henrik Mkhitaryan. Manchester United brought him to the club. It came with huge hopes. It came with loads of hype. It came with the piano video that was an epic introduction. But then that was pretty much the best thing Alexis Sanchez had done at Manchester United. And we are asking you guys here today, is he the worst Manchester United transfer of all time, or must be of the Premier League era? But let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments below. Make sure you're keeping the comments coming in, because remember, this is your show, but we are live, and Alexis Sanchez is an Inter Milan player for at least one more year. Now, before I go anywhere else and we have that discussion and we get into your comments, what I will say is Alexis Sanchez on the football index, his price might start to shoot up now because he's going to be playing more regularly, might be scoring goals, and you can download Football Index by clicking the link in the description below. You have to be over 18, T's and C's applies. Basically a football stock market now. I'm thinking of getting on Mason Greenwood, because Mason Greenwood's likely to start at the weekend. Imagine he scores, his price is going to go through the roof. Make a little bit of profit, but that's if you want to get on that. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you do, 18 plus, T's and C's apply, and the link is in the description below for Football Index, as we are talking about Alexis Sanchez. And Lewis says definitely the worst. J-Deep says worst of the worst. D. James says worst ever. Kanak says worst ever, and J-Deep says Memphis or Alexis. The reason I wouldn't say Memphis is up there with Alexis Sanchez is because of the simple fact that Memphis didn't have the benefit of already knowing the Premier League, already being a success in the Premier League. He didn't have that benefit. So Alexis did, and that's why we thought he was the man. He came here to the club. We were thinking he is the guy. He's got the number 7 shirt. He's coming to Manchester United. He's pissing off Arsenal fans. It was a great move. He was one of the best strikers in the league. Him and Romelu Lukaku were up there with the best strikers in the league. Turned to shit when they come to Man United, unfortunately. Lukaku not as much so as Alexis Sanchez. And I will say Alexis Sanchez is the worst Manchester United transfer of my lifetime, at the very least. In the last 30 years, since I've been alive, God, I feel old. He has been the worst transfer. We've had the William Pruniers, we've had Massimo Taibi, we've had Bebe, we've had Obertan. We've had a lot of signings like that. But the ones that I would put near the top are the likes of Radamel Falcao, Angel Di Maria, Alexis Sanchez. I don't really put Juan Sebova on there because he had some good games for United. He won a league and all that. But he just didn't fit in with that Scholes and Keane thing. But Alexis didn't do anything. 5 goals in 45 games. That's 1 goal in every 9 games. He did more videos with his dogs than he did games for Manchester United. He did more videos running around with his shirt off, breathing heavy, sweating and all that, than he did playing games for Manchester United. The geezer was a shambles for the club, and it's good to see the back of him. I know it leaves some lack of depth, and I know Manchester United losing Alexis, losing Lukaku. We're only relying now on Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford. That's what we're relying on in those centre forward positions, in those attacking areas. But I don't care, because Alexis Sanchez wasn't doing anything anyway. He wasn't providing anything. If anything, he was upsetting the changing room. The fact he was on the biggest wage at the club and was doing the least amount of work at the club, including the reserves, the under-18s, the tea lady, the kit man, the gardener, including all them, he was doing less than them, but he was getting paid more than anybody at the club. for doing nothing. That obviously unsettled things in the changing room. I would be thinking, if I was in there, what is this geezer doing? Why ain't I? Even if I was an average player playing 20 games a season, I would think I should be on the same wages as him. And it just unsettles things. You look at De Gea hasn't agreed a contract yet. And the Herrera couldn't agree a contract. Paul Pogba's been talking about moves and contracts and all that. And you look at that and you think, that's down to this guy's contract. And the fact he wasn't performing. If he's performing and he's scoring goals, 25 goals in 40 games or whatever, you can justify it. You can say, yeah, but he's scoring goals. He's got the most goals in the team or whatever. But he wasn't even performing. And I just think it's the right time for him to move on. A shame it's only on loan. A shame we couldn't get rid of him permanently. A shame we couldn't get a transfer fee in for him. A shame we're still paying over half his wages. That's another mad thing as well. United have deemed it more sensible to let this guy go, pay half his wages, than keep him at the club. They'd rather save that €5 million a year or whatever and have the possibility of him doing half decent in Italy. Inter Milan wanting to pay 5-10 million for him. They have that, they like the idea of that than keeping him around. Because of the simple fact they save €5 million a year and he's out of there. He's not hanging around. He's not stinking the place out. Off the wage bill. Stevens in the comments, thank you for joining us. Looks like we'll never have it as good a game like we did under Sir Alex. I don't think we ever will, mate. But hopefully we can have some success. Obviously, I've been unhappy with the lack of activity in terms of bringing players in. The players we brought in, I'm delighted with, but the lack of activity bothered me. But the players we're getting rid of shows Ollie has seen what we see. We see we don't want to see Smalling and Jones starting. We see we need a new right back. He sorts that out. Smalling might be off to Roma. He sees Alexis and Lukaku ain't fitting in for whatever reason. Alexis is a waste of time and Lukaku doesn't fit in with the style of football we want to play. Gets rid. Matic the same. Not starting. Now, we have got a thin squad. That's a problem. We're putting pressure on youngsters. Pressure makes diamonds, so. And we're going to have an inconsistent season. But hopefully we see 2, 3, 4 players really step up and become key names in this team. And then over the 2 transfer windows, we can get those players in those areas. I see what Ollie's doing in terms of the squad rebuild. But it's slower than we would have wanted because of the owners that we have and the man in charge of transfers. That's a problem. But I can see what Ollie's trying to do. And I'm happy for him to do that. People are moaning about Alexis Sanchez going, Lukaku going, Smalling going. Who gives a fuck? Yes, I would have liked to have seen him replaced. But well, not Smalling because we've got enough centre-half. But really, who cares? Who cares if they go? We all wanted rid. We've all been moaning about him. Let's see him go. And there seems to be a culture change at Manchester United. And whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a success, I'll say this again. Whether he's a success in terms of winning games and trophies and all that, I don't know. I really don't know. Whether that happens or not, I do think he'll be a success in terms of revitalising this squad, changing it up. And the next manager that comes in will have a better squad. Will inherit a squad that's full of young, talented, hungry players. That's what I believe that Ollie will be doing. Whether he gets or he's the man to push them on and win trophies, I don't know. Hopefully he is, but that remains to be seen. Guys, Alexis Sanchez has joined Inter Milan. Let us know your thoughts on the news breaking through tonight about Alexis Sanchez's future. He has joined Inter Milan on a season-long loan deal. Is now the time to jump on him on the Football Index, the football stock market exchange where you can invest in players, see a little profit. If they score goals mentioned in the media a lot, whatever, you gain points for the amount of money you have on them. If their price rises, you can obviously sell, make a profit. It's like the stock exchange. You have to be over 18. T's and C's apply. Description is in the link below. I wouldn't invest in Sanchez. Personally, I said this at the start of the season, I think he's absolutely done out here. He is done out here. Sanchez is finished. He's not. I didn't have any hopes that he would actually rediscover any sort of form. He's finished, kaput, burnt out, done. We saw with players like him the amount of energy he puts in, the amount of, running around and all that. You can see with players like that the way they just deteriorate quickly. Now he might go to Italy and find he gets more space on the ball. he's actually quicker than most people, all that stuff, and he might score a few goals. But in terms of a Premier League player, with the intensity of the Premier League, with the speed of the intensity of all that of the Premier League, he's done. It was like Wayne Rooney, the decline's rapid for those players. I think Wayne Rooney had it in his head though. He was a little bit more streetwise on a football pitch. He knew how to play football. Sanchez doesn't. Well, he knows how to play football, but I mean, in terms of a proper footballing brain, he can't drop deep. Sanchez can't drop deep. His possession retention is absolutely woeful. Now you can accept that when he's scoring goals and making assists, but when he's not, you can't accept it. And for the way we want to play, maybe a Sanchez that's in form would be ideal, just in behind the striker. Imagine him buzzing about in that position, in form, as you know, in that position Jesse Lingard played against Palace. He'd be mint. But that Alexis Sanchez is done. It's finished. It's over. Guys, what do you think? Will Alexis Sanchez revitalise his career out there in Italy, joining up with his mate Romelu Lukaku? David wants to see Smalling and Jones out too. The reports regarding Chris Smalling today were that he's on the verge of a move to AS Roma. Now, these are reports from the same people that reported Sanchez to Inter Milan yesterday. So will we get confirmation about Chris Smalling's move to AS Roma? The report said that a season-long loan deal had been agreed for Chris Smalling to go to Roma, and there was no option to buy or anything like that. I think there was a fee in there, €3 million, and Chris Smalling had agreed to the move. Now, nothing confirmed yet, but possibly could be going through. Chijoke is pointing out that Smalling and Jones are over. Good riddance, Smalling, Jones, Rojo, Darmian. We truly get out all the dead weight, but United need to reinvest. Totally agree with you, Mohammed. We could be seeing Darmian leave as well before the European transfer window closes on September the 1st, I believe. He could possibly be leaving. Remove the curse, says Ivan. Yes, Michael Owen, remove that curse. Ever since you put your filthy mitts on that shirt, it's not done well, has it? Remove the curse, Michael Owen. Remove that curse. Alexis Sanchez. We've got no number 7, no number 11. Let's play a little game. Let's play a little game. Who do you think will be the next person to occupy the number 7 shirt and the next person to occupy the number 11 shirt? Let us know in the comments below. I'd go for a number 7. I'd say Jadon Sancho next summer, providing we get Champions League football. For 11, I'd say, ideally, James Maddison. Would that work? Could he wear number 11? Could we see the number 11 go to someone else? Maybe a Mason Greenwood, Daniel James. A lot of people saying Sancho, Jadon, Sancho 7, Sancho 7. Then we could still sing the song. We've got Sancho, Paul Pogba and Fred. But then again, Paul Pogba will probably be gone by the time we get Sancho, and Fred will be gone and all that stuff. Because you know, United will only let Pogba go when we've got Sancho coming in because of the commercial power that brings. Sancho 7, Maddison 11, says Sai, as does Oliver. Rashford 11, Mason 9, says, Martial's 9, mate. Maddison 11, Samson says, D. James says. Gareth Bale, says Alexander. That's a name I haven't heard linked with United for about 2 weeks. Christian Eriksen 7, Maddison 8, Bale 11, CR 7, Fellaini 7, says Ahu. Loads of suggestions for who will be wearing the Manchester United shirt next. Number 7 shirt, sorry, and the number 11 shirt. But a lot of people think Jadon Sancho might be the man to rock that number 7 shirt. Pogba's gone in the summer, said Daniel. I agree with you as well. I unfortunately think he's gone in the summer. I don't blame him. I think that age in his career, unless United look like winning the Premier League and Champions League, is probably, in terms of his career, probably the move he wants to make. In fact, DJ 11 and Maddison 7, says Mark Doyle. Zlatan is still better than anything we had. We've heard Zlatan being linked with Manchester United recently as well, which is an interesting one. Obviously, whoever it came from is hardly the most reliable source, but information regarding Zlatan coming back to United on loan in the summer, that would be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing him rock back up at Old Trafford, but it does show you where we are when we're bringing back players that just left because their knees broke down. that would be incredible, wouldn't it? And it would be a massive step back in terms of the club. Any more comments coming in before we finish and wrap up this video on Alexis Sanchez to Inter Milan? Manchester United have agreed a deal with Inter Milan for Alexis Sanchez to join the club on a season-long loan deal. United tweeted today that the deal was done. We saw pictures of Alexis Sanchez in Italy earlier on today as well, and now he is an Inter Milan player for at least a season and teaming up with his mate Romelu Lukaku. Ashley Barnes, number 11, says Chijoki. He is laughing about that though, so I think that is a joke. Without the number 7, we've won the Europa and finished second. So says Jerry. Finishing second and winning the Europa is not the peak for me, but it wasn't bad, but it's not peak. Anyway guys, thank you for tuning in to Full Time Devils yet again with another transfer stream. We've been talking about loan moves a lot today. We spoke about Chris Smalling potentially joining Roma earlier on today on a season-long loan. And tonight, we have confirmed Alexis Sanchez as an Inter Milan player, which means we've probably got to upgrade that down there. I'll upgrade that down there before the next one. And who knows, I may be confirming Chris Smalling to Italy. Remember, you can download Football Index in the description below, clicking that link. And for now, I have been Adam McCullough. I am out of here. But before I go, do me a favour. You see that subscribe button? Bloody click it in a bit.